Unfortunately, I believe that is all bearing movement. And then when you turn this wheel, ooh. And here is what a wheel bearing is supposed to sound like. Well, we got the tools out. Let's check the bearings. It's usually not a noise. I don't think that's a very good noise to hear. Sounds quite dry. There's no play. Alright, this one, here's an example of what you don't want to hear. Here's an example of what you really don't want to hear when you're checking your bearings. Unfortunately, I believe that is all bearing movement. And then when you turn this wheel, ooh, no bueno. That sounds awful. Well, we're gonna have to pop these off too. That's a shame. I just finished welding up the frame. I just finished doing the trailer hitch. I'm glad I looked at these bearings, but I'm kind of bummed out because I mean this one's done, so I'll probably have to find a replacement for that. The other one had no play in it, and maybe I could just pack it with grease, or I might, depending on how expensive they are, I might just get 2 fresh bearings to throw on there, because if you let these go, what's gonna happen is well, your wheel's gonna fall off, and not having that insurance claim when that comes off down the highway and strikes another car. So yeah, no, I thought I was done here, but boy was I wrong. Okay, let's get to work. Yeah, have a look. This one's so bad you can see it move. There should be absolutely zero movement. Ooh, a bug. So if you can see it move, it has to be replaced. Huh. Okay. For those of you not in the know, this usually, it's not supposed to be tight, but you're not supposed to just move it, be able to move it just like that. There's supposed to be a little bit of preload on the bearing. The only thing stopping it from coming out right now is just this little cotter pin. I don't have parts right now. I cannot decide whether to pack it up for now and order some stuff, or I don't know. Alright. Brand name is Poland L44L44649. Any other markings? Geez, where's the brake clean when you need it? I mean, I think this number here should be all we need. Let's go see what all this costs. Honestly, depending on the price, I might just opt to just swap it out. If it's like 30 or 40 bucks, I mean, you might as well. You know. I just gotta find out how to get this cotter pin in there. There we go. Big do as I say, not as I do moment. I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm gonna be back in here. I'm not even gonna bother putting this cotter pin in. Yeah. I'm just gonna come back to this trailer when I have parts. Alright boys, we have the hub off, minus 1 stud, but cause of death, seal failure. Inside here, this is not grease. That is straight up corrosion. Pitting. Not what your bearing is supposed to look like. Clearly, the seal in this failed, and water was allowed to sit in here for a little bit too long. And the other side here is what your bearing is supposed to look like. But again, you can see that these up and down lines, those are not rubbing off. That I do not believe is grease. I believe that is, yeah, these lines going across, they're not rubbing off. That's corrosion as well, although that's not as bad. That's okay, because I got 2 new one of these with the bearings and the seals and the nuts and 4 studs for $34 a piece. So you know, bye bye. I'll even wash one of these, the worst one, off for you to show, you know, the kind of damage that hides behind all this grease. We had a couple other bearings in here. I was soaking them before I found out that I could just get a whole new hub. Putting these in a little bit of kerosene takes the oil, takes the grease right off. To show you some of the corrosion. So yeah, as you can see, the cage, it appears as only that the cage has the corrosion on it, but that's because the actual rollers are rolling around and they're gonna smush off some of that extra rust. But I mean, you can see here how stained those rollers are. So I mean, like, all this stuff is garbage, all just because some seals let some water in, wasn't properly greased, and that's what happens. Garbage. Alright, we got our new hub. Bearings are packed right full of grease. Just gonna take a little bit of grease to throw it on in here. Just get this nice and greasy. Am I using too much grease right now? It's a personality flaw I have. More better. We have our bearing. More grease just for funsies. What's up?
Just freaking tiredness, fatigue. Little kids screaming at me all day.
Dang. Sheesh. Then we have our oil seal. Throw that right in, right on top. Did I say oil seal? I meant grease seal. I don't know if you happen to have L44649 bearings that go to a 1 1/16 inch axle, then get yourself a 36 mil socket. It fits right over perfectly, right over the seal, and just tap it in. Make sure it's completely flat when you're doing it though. You will wreck your seal, and then you'll be right back to square one with burnt out bearings. A hammer would be good in this situation, but yeah, I don't really have a reason. Alright, that'll do. And then you're gonna flip it around. More excessive grease. A little more with the grease because that wasn't excessive enough. Drop your bearing right in. So somebody will help me out here. I just like playing with the grease, but drop a comment below. Am I doing myself a disservice by tossing in so much grease? I mean, it's grease. I figured more better, but hey. You guys let me know. Don't forget to polish your shaft. Gotta make sure she's get all that old schmoo off there. I also went around the area where the grease seal's gonna go. I also went around that with some 3000 grit sandpaper. It's very smooth. And for the threads, you want to make sure all the bad stuff is out of there. With the clean grease, of course. I hope that's obvious. You want to get this nice and lubed up. You gotta lube it. And we have our new wheel bearing. Oil seal goes on this side. Seats right here. You just want to be gentle with this. If it's not going on perfectly, then that means that the bearing's a little crooked in there. My bearing is a little crooked in there. And then when you take it back out, you want to make sure to slowly coat the entire thing in grease to make it even more frustrating for yourself before you wiggle it back on and it doesn't work again. Then you try and reset that bearing, and then you put more grease all over the hub, and then it works perfectly. Boom. Look at that. Perfect. Nope, just kidding. Push it all on each sides until it finally goes in. Boom. There it goes. Just like that. Okay. There we go. Alright. She's in there nice and good. Oh. Come on. Please. What? How does this even happen? That was embarrassing. So after we get the hub on, make sure your bearing is seated. Both bearings are seated. Don't make them tight. So right now it has play. And right there it doesn't. Right here it doesn't. That's tight. That's finger tight. Back it up just a little bit. You want to have it just like right there. Good. So did you guys hear that our neighbors over in Connecticut decided to legalize marijuana, like on a recreational level, like on like a Colorado level? I don't smoke weed, but why is it that we didn't do this during the lockdown of 2020? I feel like that would have been like a fantastic time when you're literally ordering the general public to do nothing. It's the least you could have done. Sheesh. They say that that you're legally allowed to possess, as long as you're over 21, that you're legally allowed to possess 1.5 ounces of weed. And I'm pretty sure that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of, like, wasn't that a felony? So I wonder what happens to those guys. It's like, say you got caught with 1 ounce of weed a month ago. That was a felony. So do those guys just get off? This is all very foreign to me because, yeah, like I said before, I'm pretty sure if you were caught with 1.5 ounces of marijuana, you're going to jail, dude. You're gonna have a bad time. Oh, I'm denting you and damaging you, but I don't care. Fuck. All right, I'm shutting the camera. All right. I don't know what the hell was up with that new grease fitting, but this one just like that. Job done. So annoying. I don't know what the heck was going on with that other cap, with that other, I don't know, you call it a bearing cap. This protective cover. I was like just hitting it for half an hour and it would not go on. The old ones all went on just like that. The new one on the other side went on just like this, but that one bearing cap was, ooh, so whatever. It's on. We're done. And here is what a wheel bearing is supposed to sound like. Boys, it's been fun, but it has not been real fun. Matter of fact, it's been pretty freaking messy, but it's all good because it's done now. Have a good day. See you in the next video. Adios.